Hey guys, Emily Muchanti here, and I am back with a video for my reading intervention teachers. Now, it is probably end of the year for you, and you are wrapping up, and you might have a little bit of downtime in the next few days or weeks where you can actually start to evaluate how your program ran this past year and have a look to the future. And recently, I have been receiving some questions about delivering intervention, which are great questions, but we're getting some confusion between intervention teachers and special education teachers. So today, what I want to do is talk to you about some of the responsibilities of a reading intervention teacher. And I have a little gift for you at the end, so stick around. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this video. Don't forget to hit the little bell dingy so that you get notified when I upload something, and keep an eye on the show notes, which are the little notes below, because I'm going to have some links for you that you're gonna want to have and look at, okay? All right, so that being said, let's go into what is the difference between an intervention teacher and a special education teacher. Now, every school does everything a little bit different, but if you are an ed specialist, a special ed teacher, you're working with students with IEPs, then you are a special education teacher and you are bound by the IEP as far as what instruction you are delivering to that student. Now, sadly, I'm getting some questions from some of you where you're not really being given anything to go off of, and I'm frustrated hearing it. I can't even imagine what you guys must be feeling. And so I admire you and commend you for looking for something because you're trying to do right by your students. But just remember, again, students' IEPs trump everything. Those are legally binding documents, and you have to do what the IEP team says in the IEP needs to be done, okay? Now, reading intervention teachers should be the teacher that our students are seeing before they are actually identified for special education services, before they are placed on an IEP, because the goal is that with early and really great intervention, we can prevent those referrals into special education. So if you are an administrator wondering why you should be investing in intervention, it's because it's going to keep your special ed costs down. And isn't that a nice thing? Okay, so that being said, when I'm talking specifically now to those of you who are intervention teachers, maybe reading specialists, Title I teachers, you have a variety of different titles. And every school is going to do this a little bit differently. But there are some key duties and responsibilities that should fall on your shoulders. And if you are new to a position, let's say that a school has decided they are going to open an intervention and they don't really know where to start, then this is going to give you a starting point. And again, stick around to the end because I have a little gift for you. All right, so one of the first responsibilities of an intervention teacher is really to oversee the screening assessment and the progress monitoring of all students that are receiving intervention services. Now, ideally, the screening assessment should be given school-wide. Screening is there to help us identify those students who are at risk for reading deficits. And risk levels change throughout the year. As text complexity gets a little more challenging for students, you're going to see some kids that were doing just fine starting to fall through the cracks. And the purpose of a screening assessment and the purpose of using it school-wide for every student is so that nobody falls through the cracks. So once that's determined, that really needs to be the primary responsibility of that reading intervention teacher. You are hoping that you can get a reading intervention team through a number of paraprofessionals so that you have a testing team that can go in and do all of this. All right, so you're managing, delivering, and overseeing assessment, screening, assessment, and progress monitoring. Okay, that's number one. The second primary responsibility of a reading intervention teacher is to really make sure that you are planning, at least doing the planning and or delivery of quality small group instruction that is based on the essential early literacy skills that are identified as being problematic in our screening data. And so those are the things that are mentioned in the National Reading Panel report. They're the things that are crucial to literacy development. And those are phonemic awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. That is really where intervention instruction should be focused on. It is focused on filling gaps, and those gaps exist because there are skill deficits, and we identify those skill deficits through the screening assessment. See how this is all kind of tying together? What intervention is not is helping a classroom teacher to teach standards that the student didn't master. That is not intervention from a true literacy intervention standpoint. That is the classroom teacher's responsibility to teach the standards. The intervention teacher is there to fill the gaps in the literacy skill so that the student can then access the standards. So there's a really important distinction there. And administrators that may be really well-intentioned might not understand that, okay? So we want to share the reasoning and connect all of these dots for our decision makers. Now, the next thing that the reading intervention teacher really needs to be focused on is ensuring that you have quality curriculum that you can draw on for your instruction that is founded in evidence that is, we know will work, okay? So as you start an intervention program, you may have very, very little, and that's typical. And so you need to know what your budget is. You need to know what are some of those big areas that you need to attach a curriculum to that skill. And you need to start building basically a resource library or a resource bank so that you can pull from those things so that when you have a student that you've assessed and you see that they have a skill deficit, let's say in phonemic awareness, then you have a curriculum to draw on that you can actually deliver that instruction. Now, why are we focused only on these essential literacy skills? We know that these are the ones that are going to move the needle for our students, okay? So we don't have to teach all of the things. We just have to teach a few things really, really well. And a big part of that is finding quality curricula that will match to that need, that can be delivered quickly, and so that you can do this with small groups, and it can be delivered by paras in some situations as well. Now, another responsibility, at least in my site, and this will vary for some of you, but it's a good idea if you don't have a specific ELD teacher, okay? So your English learners, if your school doesn't have a specific program for your English learners, then you want to bring that population under your reading intervention. And that is something that I did in my role as well, so that you are still collecting the data. And in some cases, then you will be delivering the assessment that is associated with the English learner. So in California, it was the LPAC. That was my responsibility, was to deliver the LPAC, do all of the initial testing and all of the summative testing. And so you can bring that in under the intervention umbrella, so that you can support those kids with their English language development. Now, another, I think one of the most important responsibilities is really to make sure that the heart of your intervention is really founded in strong student-teacher relationships. We have to be mindful of some of the history that our struggling readers have dealt with. There's a lot of failure. There's a lot of fear of failure, shame, humiliation attached to these years of these kids really struggling. And so we know that through strong relationships, we can build confidence, we can support those kids, and we can bring them along so that they can start to believe in themselves and start to see success. We have to show them that success is possible, and it absolutely can be. So much of this has to be a strong relationship, which means intervention should be a place where your kids want to come. If there are other kids that don't come to intervention, aren't asking why they can't come, I want to come, you're doing something wrong. We need to show that this is a great, fun place. It's the happiest place on campus, and you're there to support these kids. They need to love you, and they need to love coming to you so that you can really support that relationship. Now, another important area and responsibility for our reading intervention teachers is that you really have to be a teacher leader. You cannot be an island unto yourself, although I know you kind of feel like one because you're the only one on your campus and sometimes in your district doing what you do. But as far as your particular site, you need to be a teacher leader. You need to help train and provide information, build the knowledge and capacity of your classroom teachers so that they understand what it is you're doing, why you're doing it, how what you do will help facilitate what they do, even though it's not the same thing. You have to be part of that same team. And so part of your responsibility should really be developing professional development that you can deliver to your sites, to your district, so that you can build their capacity. And then in turn, what happens is you are going to be seen as a resource for those teachers. You're going to show them what success looks like. You're going to share your data so that they can see, because believe me, when you have a really good intervention program, the success of that student is not owned only by intervention, and it is not owned only by the classroom teacher. It is a team effort. It takes everybody working together. And so you really have to be seen and own that position of kind of this quasi admin type of role so that you can help them help their students. And the final thing that I want to leave you with, there are others, but these are some of my big ones, is that part of your responsibility really needs to be as part of the student study team and the IEP team, whatever you may call those at your site or in your state. But in ours, it was the student study team, an SST team. And these are the meetings that our students had to come through, our parents had to come through prior to a special ed referral. So we had to basically show that a student who was possibly en route to being evaluated for special education services had gone through the intervention process. And so we have to document that information. And so what we did is, and what I did is I provide written reports of all of the data that has been collected on that student so that I can present it at those meetings, explain it, show the progress or lack thereof, so that we knew if that student needed to stay in intervention or if they were ready for something that was more direct, I guess, and in the needs of the special education realm. And so those diagnostic reports, that collection report, was something that I had to create for my teachers for my meetings, and I always came in with one, had a copy for that file, and had a copy for the parent and the teacher so that everybody knew what I had gathered and so that we were all on the same page. Now, if you're collecting your screening data like Acadience, and it has some amazing reports, a lot of them do, part of that data can just be screenshot and pulled into your reports. So those are some things that I think are really important to understand about what an effective intervention teacher has to take care of, what your responsibilities and your duties are. So what I am going to offer to you is I have a template for you. And way back when, I kind of wrote the proposal myself for a program that was starting to really dwindle by and lose its I guess, impact at one of our schools in our district. And so I created a proposal that I presented to my district administrator, my assistant sup, and my superintendent, and then it later went to the school board, that basically said, here's what we need to do. Here's what I propose. Here are the responsibilities I will take on in this role. Here are some additional potential school-wide initiatives that we could take on, because our board was about ready to decide if they were going to close one of our reading labs. And that just wasn't okay with me, quite honestly. And so what I've done is I've taken that proposal and I've pulled from it and created a template for you that you are welcome to have. You can copy anything out of it. You can edit it. You can add to it. It will be in the form of a Google Doc, so you can just make a copy and do what you want. There are examples of how you can write it. And if you use it, I would love to see what you do with it, okay? So if you are going to use it to propose what your more, I guess, beefed up role is going to be as an intervention teacher, send me one. In fact, I'd be happy to even look at it, review it, and give you some feedback, okay? You know, you can catch me at readingdiva06@gmail.com. But look for the link in the show notes. I'm going to get it all ready and put it up on my website. By the way, my new website is emilymuchanti.com. It's where you can see all of the things that I do. And this summer, so it's end of May right now, this summer I'm going to be opening up some spots for our group coaching. I had just an amazing year with a teacher in New Jersey, and we're going to continue to work together because she's amazing. And I want to offer some opportunities for those of you that might feel like, again, that lone soldier, you need some coaching, you need some mentoring, you need some guidance. So if that is something that you are interested in, there will be a link below where you can get your name on a list and potentially save yourself a spot there. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. I hope that gives you something to chew on. Again, these are just a few of those responsibilities. Every school is different. You know your school site best. Feel free to change this proposal to do whatever you want with it. But again, I'd love to see it when you're done. And thank you for watching. I love hearing from you. I love the connections I make with you. Don't be shy. Drop a comment, shoot me an email. Do all of the things. And until next time, I'll see you then. Thank you.